Hi there, it's Fabian the Blind speaking, and this is a demo for the 0.2 version of AEMap. So, you download the script at aescripts, just drop the AEMap utilities and the world GeoJSON folder into your script UE panels, and you're good to go. It's important that the world GeoJSON folder with the countries GeoJSON is next to the AEMap script. If it's not, you can't create the map. You can find the script UE panels folder under Applications, Adobe After Effects, Scripts UE panels. On Windows, just take the path from the overlay. If you're not sure how to install scripts, watch the tutorial on how to do that on aescripts. So, let's go. You have to restart After Effects. I already had them in there, so I don't need to do this. But restart After Effects and then you will find them under Windows on AEMap JSX. First of all, there's some license agreement. You have to agree that the software is provided without any warranty of any kind. So it won't break your After Effects, but I have to be sure that you won't sue me. And you shouldn't download the script from untrusted sources because it holds a lot of code, a lot of JSON, and it could include malicious code to attack your computer because you have to allow the script to write and read from disk. So, if you're okay with that, hit OK, and he opens up the AEMap script. There are three different views. There's a comp settings views, the color settings views, and the all settings view. I didn't want to clutter your workspace too much, so I rearranged the user interface a bit. Let's start with the comp settings. We got the 3D checkbox. If you check this checkbox, all new created layers in your new comp will be 3D and the continuous rasterization will be activated. We got the single layer checkbox. If you check this, all the masks will be created on one single layer. If you check this checkbox, add Zorro tags and precompose will be deactivated. So, what else? We got the use timestamp checkbox. If we check this checkbox, the script will create a unique timestamp for your new comp and your new layers. That's important if you use the add stroke effect. He will add a stroke effect to all masks and link them up to your new comp via expressions. And it's important that you have a unique name for that comp. If not, he will get confused. So use it if you use a stroke. But the stroke is linked via expressions. It's 6 expressions on 286 layers. So this is really taking much render power. If you don't need it, don't check it. And the last checkbox, the precompose checkbox. If you check this, he will precompose all the comps. Like I said, 178. If you don't check it, you have 286 layers in your new comp. I will check this and also use the 3D. This is a comp name, pretty easy. This is the scale. It's good to read all these tiny help tips I wrote. The scale makes a new comp with 360 times 180 pixels if you set it to 1. If you set it to 3, you have something like 1080 to something. You can use floating point values in here, but I would suggest to use just integer values because if the scale does not fit in a 2:1 scale and he makes half pixels, then you run into problems with the just use integer values, then you save. The duration in seconds. Here you can set the duration of your new comp, like 23.5 in seconds or 12.7. I like that number. And he will make all the new comps and layers in that duration. And the last one on this panel with the frames per second drop-down list, you can define your frame rate for your new comp. I keep it at 25, just leave them like this. If you use the single layer checkbox, he is pretty fast on creating the new map, and the map is much easier to handle than the 286 layers. So I switch over to the color settings. Yeah, I want to see the version label. You can select in here some predefined colors like black, white, light gray, stuff like that. And you can use the random color mode. He creates random colors for your new layers. You can use the HSL color mode. Then these 4 text fields get enabled. Let me show you a color picker so I can tell you how this works. We got our color picker. So the range in degrees is the circle our color picker takes on this color wheel. So if you set it like this right now to 360, he will start at red and end at red. The offset defines the starting point of the color picker. Right now at 0, he starts where he is. If we set this to maybe 180, he would start here and make a 360 turn. And if we set this to 182, he will make a half circle. And if 90, he will make a quarter circle. So the saturation in percent, the saturation is the position within the color wheel. So if you set this to 0, he will only make white layers. I keep it on, no, I set this to 33. And last, the lightness in percent. This is this slider right now. You can define the lightness of the colors. So that's the HSL colors. Let's get this away. You also got the possibility to use a custom color. This defines only one color, but you can define it in HSL mode, or you can define a custom color in RGB mode. I set this to my HSL colors. I use these colors like this. The all settings mode holds all the settings, nothing different here. So let's draw a map. And we're done. Great. So what happened? As you can see, we got our map. We made it 3D, so we can add a camera and move it around. Yeah, I know this is pretty render heavy, but still, it's a map. We also added the stroke effect. So if you look in the comp for the stroke controller, I can close this one. The stroke effect, as you can see, he made some controllers for your stroke effect. You can define a weight, and to start you have to give him his opacity, and you have to set the end also to 100. I know this effect is really taking render power. Have a look inside. It's all linked up via expressions. The expressions are pretty easy. If you have to change something, just have a look. He's linking to the comp, timestamp, the GeoJSON controller, the effect, and the slider. He's using match names, so it will work in every language. That makes it much easier. Everybody should use match names. And all the other expressions are the same. Let's see the comments. Here they are. I open up Zorro. And now with Zorro you can isolate, you can isolate layers in your comp. That's pretty useful. There we go. Has to work a bit. He's taking it seriously. And bam. There we go. As you can see, the map is done. Fiddle around with the script, ask questions. If you run into some errors, write an email or make a comment on aescripts. I'm happy you dig this thing, and if you do something beautiful, show me.